Clear vision. Let's talk about clear vision. So I want to riff on this for hopefully no more than 15 minutes. I'm going to try and time this. Put your comments in at the bottom, ask your questions in there because I'll tell you how it is. Vision. Vision has got to be one of those words that is used and bandied around a lot, but is not really really understood. It's one of those words that is thrown around where if you don't really understand its impact, you don't understand why you need to be focusing on it. So I bang on a lot about motivation a lot. And motivation, what drives you, creates your vision. But I come up against people with all sorts of problems with their vision when I first start working with them. And they come to me because they're confused, they're not getting the results, they're underachieving. These are highly driven, high achievers who are not getting the results they want. And the first place we look at really is what's their vision, because that allows us to find their motivation and the conflict in their vision. So I'm going to talk about that. That's what we want to talk about today. So what is a vision? Vision is something that you have which says, well, that's where I want to go. It's as simple as that. I want to go in that direction. That is what's important to me. I want to hit that goal. I want to hit that target. And now underneath that vision, and that vision is summing up everything that's important to you. So this is a business vision, is a vision of your health or what you look like, or a goal. A goal goes in your vision. Or it could be a goal that you achieve as you're going towards the bigger vision. So if you do not have a clear idea of where you're going, you can't put the steps in place. You can't create the plan or the strategy, and you can't put the tactics in, and you can't put the tasks in. So it's very simple. If I was said to you, let's go on holiday together, and we have this vision of a holiday, and your vision is different from mine, or I can't really think about a holiday. I went to Cuba once. This is a great example. It just popped in my head. I went to Cuba once and I spent 3 days in a very Western style hotel, but I'm talking quite a long time ago, 15 years plus ago. And I don't think the Cubans really understood what a holiday meant for Westerners because of their regime and everything else. They didn't have the same vision. So it was a very weird experience of being in a traditional hotel, but it didn't work for me in some ways. So if you don't have a vision of what you're meant to achieve and what you're meant to do clearly and without conflict, which I'm going to come to in a second, you can't take the steps on it. So what creates a confused vision? And there's three main things we need to talk about. You have a vision of things that you want to have, okay? I want to create this. I want to have this lifestyle. I want to create this sort of business. I want to. So this is the vision that you really need to be clear about, what you want. But there is two very powerful and conflicting things that happen that really messes up your vision, which is your can't have vision. So what is a can't have vision? It's that part of your brain, which I was banging about, that 40% of people have it, which they have excessive fear and doubt, that says you can't have that. So if you create a vision of wealth, of lifestyle, of anything, and this says you can't have that, you're not allowed that, you don't deserve that, you're not smart enough to have that, it's dangerous to have that, and this is the really sneaky one. I've worked with 3 people in the last 2 weeks who have part of their brain saying is if they let themselves create a vision of everything they know they can actually achieve, to this part of their brain, that is dangerous, literally dangerous, that they're going to lose it all, that they're going to be criticized, they're going to be judged, they're going to lose the money that they create. For example, this is one of them. They're going to they've in the past, they've made money, then lost it. So if they have a vision of creating wealth, this part of the brain says, I'm not letting you have that vision. I can't let you have that vision because if you make that money again, you're going to lose it. And how will you feel then? I'm going to protect you from that loss. So you want to create it, you know it's possible, you've done it before, but you create a yo-yo. You create a boom and bust because your brain says, I am not letting you have it. So you have a conflicting vision. One part of your thinking, the real you as I call it, says, this is what I want. And this says, I am not letting you have this. And this is when people have a big vision, but then they procrastinate. They stop themselves. They hold back. They won't execute because they have an argument about what that vision is meant to be. So you have a I want, which is what you want to build and be clear about, but you want to clear the I can't stuff. And this is incredibly, incredibly common. If you create a vision in any way, shape or form where you won't let yourself act on it, you've got an I can't. And 40% of people have that. This is the first thing we need to clear. But there's a third one we need to talk about. And this is really sneaky. And a lot of entrepreneurs get caught out by this one. It's the should have vision. This is what I call it, the should have vision. You should be having a vision that looks like this. You should be driving the cars. You should be having that lifestyle. This is what successful people do. This is how you should be living your life. And if you've got a should have vision because you've been on the training courses, you've read the books, you've spent time with other people, you've looked at people that you admire and you think, do you know what, I would love to be like them. What you end up doing is you end up having a should have vision, which is your version of their vision, which means it's not yours. Now, it doesn't mean you can't say, do you know what, I'd love to do that. The moment you say, I love to do that, and you're not saying you can't, and it's really yours, then it becomes your vision. It becomes your goal. But if you have a should have vision, this is how you're meant to be. You're meant to get up at 5 every morning and do a particular set of routines and activities. That's part of your vision of who you're meant to be. You aspiring for the wrong goal because this is what you should have. You should be behaving in this particular way. Then you will not hit your own results because you're not setting out your own vision and your own goals. So these two blocking mechanisms are really common, incredibly common, and very, very, very damaging. And we get brought up with being told, oh, this is how you're meant to be. That's what you're meant to do. You know, go and get your exams, go and do this, go and do that. This is what's safe. This is what people are going to admire in you. And the moment we stop being ourselves with our own vision, you're toast, you're dead, you're in trouble. And I had a fantastic exchange with one of my clients who we've been working on this very thing, clearing out their should vision, clearing out the I can't vision stuff, all that crap in their head that they've picked up. And this morning, they told me their vision, and the vision was very different. It was very different. There's things on there I'm thinking, wow, where did that come from? Well, it came from the real them. And if you are able to create something that you really want, guess what? Your motivation is going to be aligned. The reasons you do things are going to be aligned. You say, I want that. That really interests me. That's what I really want, not what I should be doing or what I can't do. That is what I really want. And that's when the high achiever entrepreneur mindset kicks in and says, how do we go and get it? Which then creates your plan, your strategy, your tactics, the skills you need to learn, who you need to speak to, and all the rest of it will flow. So vision is one of those words that is almost like done to death because you're meant to have a vision board. But if you spend all your time creating this lovely vision board in whatever way, shape or form that you think you should create it, and you don't act on it, you're not creating a plan which you can test, which you can put stepping stones in of goals and processes to get there. That's because it's either not your vision, because it's a should vision, or it's you can't have it. That's the argument going on inside your head. So they're the things I want you to watch out for. The moment you clear these two things out of the way, boom, magic happens. And the I can't vision is a really, really important one. They both are. But the way of looking at it is I'm working with a client who could not earn the money or could not charge the money that they deserve because it goes against the vision of who they shouldn't be. because they're worried about criticism, they're worried about loss, they're worried about being judged by people. You can't be the real you with the real vision, because what happens if? Who's going to criticize me? Who's going to have a go at me? And this comes all the way down to evolution, saying, you know, don't get thrown out of a tribe. This is your evolutionary brain trying to protect you from something that is actually not important. So many people I work with, they're so fearful of what people would think or the consequences of having these goals that they won't let themselves have them. So they won't let themselves create their own vision because they can't have it. They're not allowed, or the consequences or the damage to going for it and being successful just says no. And then the real vision gets squashed. So, yeah, just thinking back to the client from very recently, they've gone from this is what I'm worth to this is what I'm worth to this is what I'm worth within just in a few conversations. Not because they're hyping their prices, but this is what they should always have been. But this just said you can't have that vision of that level of success because that's not who you are. Because that's because of your background. So look out for the I can't vision that gets in the way of the true one, and look out for the should vision. And the amount of times I speak to clients who ask my permission, is it okay to have their own goal? Now, it's obviously not to do with me, and I ask them the question, why are you asking me for permission to not have this should vision, what they think they should be having as their goals? So it's your life, your business, your vision. But the moment anything gets in the way, it stops being yours. You won't have confidence in it. You won't have certainty in it, and you will not allow yourself to act on it. So, has this been useful? Tell me your comments. Has this been useful to you? Has it got you thinking? If you have a problem creating a vision, you'll have a problem with execution, and you'll have a problem with success, getting what you really want. And if you don't clear these two things, you'll stay that way. And I've worked with people who've had this problem for decades, 30, 40 years. And then when we cleared these two problems out in a couple of weeks, all of a sudden their real vision comes forward and they use the skills in the right way, in the right direction. So if that's you, message me. Let's work on this, because this is what I love doing. So has it been useful? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Can I have a few hearts and likes, and was it any good? And I'll get back to you soon. There's something big coming up. We're going to launch very soon. So if you are a high achiever who's perhaps a little bit stuck, if you are someone who knows you're capable of more and you really, really want support on this, just message me and then you'll get an invite. And it's coming incredibly soon. We're almost there. So put your comments in, ask your questions, and I'll reply to you in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, do the replay, do the like thing and everything else, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye now.